Greetings, greetings, greetings. Yeah, it's the warmest night of the year so far. I don't think anyone would be awake. Depending on where you are in the world. That would explain why you're awake. How you doing? How are you doing? Right, okay. So I'm not going to be here long, but I like a little bit of background music. It's Leisha, also known as Natural Mystic, and occasionally people call me Ladybug. I'm here this evening, this morning, this afternoon, today, depending on where you are in the world, because I'm having a few problems resting, because you know when you've got something on your mind, it kind of plays and plays and plays on your mind, and if you don't kind of offload it sometimes, then you don't have a peaceful night's sleep or peaceful night's rest. And if you wonder why the dressing gown will be coming on and off throughout the live, yeah, dealing with a certain time of life, so the hot flushes are frequent. So that's why I'm here. But I've had some difficult conversations lately, and I've noticed that it's with a certain type of person. Okay, more so to do with the fact that I deal or have engaged and interacted with a lot of counsellors, psychotherapists. What else do you want to call them? I don't know, like the Samaritan type people. You know, those people at the end of the phone. And I'm really struggling to sort of engage with them on a friend level. Basically, what's been happening is you kind of find out what people do or who people are, and then you find out what they do. And I tend to clam up, if that makes sense, or stop talking, or stop wanting to share when I find out what someone's profession is, but especially when it comes to counsellors or, like I said, you know, therapists, psychotherapists, and I'm trying my best to just, you know, deal with them or interact with them as people, but I feel like they're always like collecting data, like we're a case study. Does that make sense? Not that they're disingenuous or anything like that. So I'm going to move my camera because it's really making me kind of look at you guys well odd. But yeah, not like in a disingenuous way. But I definitely feel as if like they're always making notes. Do you know what I mean? You know when you're speaking with a friend and you're just chin wagging, you can just kind of say what you want to say, get it off your chest, and there's kind of no judgment or there's no analysis. Not all of your friends will help you find answers, for example, and that's not why you want some people in your life. They're not there to help you find all the answers or dig into your past per se, to kind of, oh well, why do you feel that way, you know, and kind of do that whole analyzing thing. So that's kind of where I've been at of late. And like I said, over the last year or so, I've engaged with a few people that it's not been the best interaction, and sometimes I've kind of gone, oh, maybe it's because of what they do, and then I shut down a little bit. And the other thing that's kind of kept me awake or not resting at this time of the morning is that I've just watched one of my friends' live streams on Facebook where she has been severely bullied and trolled for coming up nearly 2 years now. Not by the same people, but you know, last year it was really bad. And then something's crept up again this week with another individual. And I've just had to sit and sort of listen to her painfully deliver the account and the events of what's happening. And again, people have prodded and poked because she doesn't want to claim a particular profession or title when it comes to, therapy or counselling and psychotherapy and that sort of thing. And some people have an issue with that. Now, I've known of this person for a year, 2 years, and they've helped me do certain things. And I'd look at them more as a mentor, as somebody who's been through similar experiences and is able to help me sometimes articulate how it is that I feel. And her favourite thing at the moment is to say, like, what's your love language? And I've heard a lot of people using this terminology of late. And I have kind of realised that I'm learning about other people's love language, but I more so probably need to learn about my own, like how I'd like people to engage with me, and then reflect that, basically, and vice versa. So that's where I've been sort of for the last couple of days. And I've come to terms with certain things, I'm still questioning certain things. And then I'm going to keep it real. I'm a very honest person. I'm very transparent. I don't mention people's names. I don't really slag people off. But I do talk about my experiences and my interactions and my engagement with people, because I think that's all part of building better relationships, building community, and having not a better insight, but different tolerances and being able to be aware of different cultural differences and that sort of thing. So I'm in a group on Facebook, and there's quite a few of us, and I have been asked to help moderate, just to keep an eye on, make sure there's no crazy stuff going on. And I'm like, okay, I'll hover around and just keep an eye on a few things. So I woke up this morning and I was perusing the socials, as I do, and I stumbled across a post in this particular group that was like an interview with Morgan Freeman and Lil Wayne. But the topic and the subject matter that this interview and these people were talking about was about, is there any such thing as racism? Now, I don't know if any of you have actually seen the clip. I'm not advocating it or championing it, but it's up to you if you want to go look for it or not. I'm sure it's out there. And their perspective is slightly different from what I would say the general mass population of people of colour, black people, melanated people, all the different words people want to use, okay, people with brown skin, that sort of thing, okay, right. And they kind of came from a perspective that if you've got money, then colour doesn't matter. And I can't say I agree or disagree with them, but I do have to question a little bit about how they made their money. Okay, so one's an actor, one's a rapper. How do they get their business, as in their jobs or their work, and who promotes their music, and how does it get into the charts? Well, this takes a team of people in the background that may be a different colour from them, perhaps. So their life experience and where they are in life now is probably vastly and hugely different, like I said, from the general mass population. And I wondered what it was doing in that particular group, okay, where it crept up, because I didn't see what relevance it had to mental health or fitness or food or well-being. It just seemed a bit out of place where it was posted. So I questioned the person as to, what are we supposed to sort of learn from this? Why is this here? In the meantime, somebody else who's a moderator went in and saw that particular post as well, saw my comment, and thought it best to just delete the post, because they also found it a tad unsettling, is the word I'm going to use. So because that had transpired, I copied the link and I put it into our moderators WhatsApp group. So when people were trying to click onto it, the post had gone because it had been deleted. However, I still wanted the question answered as to what relevance that particular post about that topic with those people, what it had to do with the WhatsApp group or with the fitness group on Facebook, for example, sorry, with the fitness group. I still haven't had an answer to that. Apart from, well, you posted stuff that was irrelevant as well, so I've just followed suit and done the same. But my small concern is that what I posted, I didn't think would bother anybody's mental health or make them feel uncomfortable or make them question me as a person or question the post itself. And what I did post in there, because again, I'm very honest and very transparent, I posted a friend's business who is a mechanic. So when someone asks me, what's that got to do with health and fitness and well-being? Well, I like cars. So I think that if people are going back to work or they haven't driven their car for quite some time, it might need a quick service. It might need a little once over. So here I am recommending my friend who's a mobile mechanic who could potentially come out and help you all. So yeah, the health of your vehicle. A little bit ironic, a little bit cheeky. Yeah, I get it. But that's just who I am. All right, and that's how I would support my friend and push their post into a group so other people are aware of what it is that they do and how he can help. But I didn't think that that was actually a valid argument to come back to me with, but that's a separate entity. So within the body of the WhatsApp group, a conversation is now taking place about the post that nobody can see anymore, but they've obviously got the gist about that it's about race and that it was perhaps an inappropriate thing to do in an inappropriate place to put it. Hey, sweetheart. And the person who put it in there decided to follow up their let me educate you all type thing, is what I was getting from it. Well, there's no such thing as racism and I'm going to show you how and where. And they followed up in the WhatsApp group with, do you know the history of the word nigger? Yeah, I said it, Nigger. And do you also know the history of the word wog? WOG. Now, I'm at work delivering to the people in my community, and I glance my phone periodically just to make sure that I haven't missed anything of importance, because, yeah, and I just see this one line with these words, nigger and wog. Now, being the person that it is that I am, I'm not going to react. That's not what I'm here for. That's not the education that I'm giving here. Read it later. Whatever it is, I've got a priority. I've got stuff that I'm doing right now. I'm driving. I've got to look after myself. I've got to look after other people on the road. I'm not going to react to this. I don't know the context of where this has all come from, so I'm going to look at it later. And a lot of people are thinking, oh, here she goes again. I don't want to listen to this rubbish and rah, rah, rah. And again, I'm not always documenting this stuff for the people who are actually viewing it. I may be documenting something like this for somebody else who may view it later on and be able to relate and resonate and then give me a little bit of insight into, I'm not saying whether my feelings are right or wrong, but I don't feel comfortable in that space anymore, is where I'm going. So they give us the history of these two particular words, which to me, again, just was uncalled for, didn't really need to be in a WhatsApp group, didn't really need to be out there. I don't really see how that was helping anybody, to be honest. If it's something that people wanted to go and find out, there were plenty of ways in which they can do that. But I was actually quite offended, I'll be honest. I was actually offended that this person thought that they could educate me about words that have been invented to cause pain and hurt and discomfort and affect people's mental health because of what it is that they've been dealing with on a day-to-day basis, because those words have been repeatedly said to them once. So why would you be in a multicultural group and not even be the race or the colour of the words you're putting out there and feel like you can educate us on words that are hurtful, that are painful, that I wouldn't want anybody else in my family or my friends to be called those words. And there were 6 hours of conversation where nobody really thought, not quite sitting well. There was a few people who were, you could see from the tone of their texts and their comments that they were uncomfortable. And now I'm actually considering even being in the group. I think someone who's shown me their actual true colours as to who it is that they are. This person even went as far as to say, people have mistaken me for being black, even though I'm not, because of the shape of my nose. Well, people might think I'm white from the way that I sound, but I'm not going to do this comparison thing when you've just used very derogatory, hurtful words and justified that you're giving us a history lesson. That's why you put them there. I don't think that's fair. I wouldn't try to educate somebody on words that have been brought into this world to describe anybody that causes hurt or pain. I had to listen to, like I said, a friend listen to her being trolled and bullied and somebody calling her bitch and liar repeatedly. Someone's called me a bitch on a public forum. You know, do I look bothered? Yeah, I'm angry. Yeah, I'm upset about it. But what's the point of, you just don't educate certain people. You don't educate ignorance. So it's been a painful few days. It's been a painful week. It's been a painful 10 days. There's been some real positives. But that's my bubble. That's how I keep myself safe. But when I get added to a WhatsApp group without my permission, and the way that I see it, a racist now has access to me, not through my choice, because somebody else has ticked them off as being okay, because they don't see what I see. They don't feel what I feel. They can laugh it off. No. And this has got nothing to do with a hashtag. This has got nothing to do with what's going on now. So that's why I want to know why it was brought up. Why wait until this very poignant moment in the world of things that are happening to start bringing up words like nigger and wog, and then actually had the audacity to say, well, it was probably a black person who invented it. That's what I've been told. So I'm not going to go away and find out the history of that horrible, hateful word. I'm not going to go away and think, oh yeah, I'm going to associate with the word bitch when there were signs in this country outside buildings that blatantly said, in this specific order, no Irish, no dogs, no blacks or / coloureds. Why would you call somebody a bitch? Especially being a person, just why would you do that? Why would you call a human being a dog? My mother didn't mate with a dog to create me. I find that very, very hurtful. So what people say behind your back and then you find out, that's the worst. There's no defense for that. I didn't say anything to this individual to actually be called anything. I've done nothing in this group with these people apart from be honest with them. To wake up, go through my day, serving my community, to then look into a group and see someone go, do you know the history of the word nigger and wog? I'm sorry, but I'm absolutely mind blown that somebody thinks, do you think you're going to change people's minds about racism? Do you think that you're actually going to change people's hearts? when they use words like that openly, comfortably, as if to say it's nothing. You know why it's nothing? Because it doesn't apply to them. It doesn't hurt them when somebody uses words like that. What words have been created to hurt Caucasian people the way that words have been created to hurt us? Somebody please enlighten me. I'd like to know. Because if you think that the word cracker, yeah, I said that, is hurtful, I've never used that to describe any of you. I didn't go out of my way to think of a word that would hurt you, like repeatedly. You know, right is right, wrong is wrong. That's what I see. And I just want to give you a little bit more insight into how some of us are feeling right now. You see, when you tell us you don't see colour, but yet you make it such a big issue. Do you know what that means when you say that? Oh, I don't see colour. That means you don't see us. You don't see this. It matters to me. So it doesn't mean that you're racist because you see colour. You can appreciate the differences. This world is beautiful because of all of the shades, all of the colours of our heart, the colours of our auras that we give off, not because of the colour of our skin. Simple. So when you say we don't see colour, that means you don't see me, you don't hear me, you don't value me, you don't think of me as nothing. You think of me as black. You think of me as darkness. You think of me as blackmail, witchcraft, voodoo, all the dark things, all the black things. None of those are positive in the real world. Go for your dictionary. Go and have a look. So how are we as a people meant to feel good about ourselves when everything attached to us, you want to attach to negativity? I'm not saying that we're perfect. I'm not saying that we don't have our own issues in our community that we need to deal with. I'm not saying that there is way too much black on black crime. There's too much crime in general. I've spent years championing, advocating, marching, banners, trying to help children find out why they're actually out there killing each other. I'm not saying I found the answers because everybody's got a different story to tell. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to sit back and I'm going to allow an outsider is what it is that I see it, someone who doesn't know me, someone who's never even questioned anything about any of the people in that group's experiences. Somebody who jumped on a call like that, made an assumption, and then a couple of weeks later they still want to be slagging people off and talking rubbish on their line. How are they affecting everyone's mental health? How's that affecting their mental health? This person that wrote nigger and wog in this group, they've gone to bed. They don't give a shit about me. They don't give a shit about anybody that's affected. They've not even apologised. Like I said, they tried to justify it and say it was a history lesson. Well, let me tell you something, yeah? We were here way before slavery. And we're still here 600 years later. So I beg on you, yeah? Pick a different part of our heritage. Pick a different part of our ancestry to start talking about now. Please. Enough. We did stuff before. We invented a load of shit before slavery. Trust me, we did. It's not that hard to find. So for those of you who are going to look at this and kind of go, huh? That's why it's like, who do you take counsel from? Who do you go for your counselling? That's where I'm at. Because right about now, this group of people that I'm in, I ain't taking no counsel from them. They haven't got my well-being and my mental health at the forefront of their mind as to why we're all there. They're not thinking about PTSD and the traumas that people have experienced by simply reading words like that and thinking that it's okay to just call people names. Well, this is the aftermath This is the effects of what happens when people just throw stuff in a group and then just go to bed. See, if I wasn't resilient, might have gone a different way, innit? Might have gone to that self-harm route. Might have picked up a bottle. I live on the 11th floor. I might have looked at the grass down there and gone, oh, that looks quite a lot better from up here. Let's go and see what it's like, but we ain't using the lift. Because I'm around people who just want to throw out slander and throw out hateful words like that and think it doesn't affect people. So I've decided to come on here and I'm actually announcing live on public. I'm removing myself from your WhatsApp group. I'm removing myself from your Messenger group. And I'm removing myself from your Facebook group. And anybody who you've introduced into my group, if I haven't engaged with them, they're being removed also. Because as far as I'm concerned, you're not a good judge of character. You're willing to put people who are vulnerable at risk, all for the sake of your business. I'm not a vulture like that. The same man who's talking about nigger and wog is now trying to sell his weight loss products to people in the group. So beat somebody up, use their vulnerability, and then swoop in and try to help them like you're some sort of savior. And that's why people don't like network marketers, because that's what they're trained to do. Pick on you when you're at your most vulnerable state and then tell you how much they can help you. I can help you lose weight. I can help you make money. I can help you change your lifestyle. You want to help niggers and wogs, do you? Because that's what you've told me that we are. That's why I'm worried about where our money goes, who we support. What do they really think about us? Or don't they just care because we're just another customer? There's a lot about support black business and buy black, all that sort of stuff going around. Looks like it hasn't come at a better time, really, has it? I'll be honest. Why would I want to spend my money with someone who thinks I'm a nigger and thinks it's okay to call people wogs, but justify it, like I said, because it's a history lesson? So was I supposed to retort by go back and give him a history lesson about British history, English history, the Romans and the Saxons? How about we go to the Vikings? Because there's a lot of stuff we can bring up, isn't there? But yet still, there aren't any horrible names for them, apart from sadomasochists. You know, heinous crimes that they committed. But yet there still isn't a derogatory slang or derogatory word that's well known. Do you know there are people that come from Eastern Europe here? They can't speak a word of English, but yet they know the word nigger. It's crazy. And then they want to tell you it's okay with an A on the end. But how do we actually know the difference? What's really in your heart? Why would you even choose to go near that word? I can't see how you are intentionally or not intentionally using it. I don't even want someone the same color as me to call me a bitch or a nigger. I don't even want to listen to songs with those words in them that are made by people that look like me. It's like, where is our self-worth gone? Sorry, the battery's going in my lamp. But you see, out of the darkness, there will be light. So I was on a book writing course this evening. And all of this stuff that I talk about now goes into a book. Because if this stuff's going to hurt, I need to create these legacies and I need to create these memories. I need to keep everything. I need to make sure that it's documented. And the best place to put it is in a book. I can say exactly what I want. I can say exactly how I feel, and I ain't hurting nobody. This is my experience. This is my life that I'm writing. My feelings, my thoughts. Not to hurt anybody, but to heal. So this is why I jumped on here at this crazy hour. Because I couldn't rest today. My mum travelled to see me. I didn't get an opportunity to see her due to the job. And then I had my book writing session in the evening. But you know what? I'm willing to sacrifice a few hours of not seeing my mum once in a blue moon. Because this energy that I had, she would have picked up on. And she would have been quite upset with me. She'd be like, how dare you let people like that around you? How dare you let people like that invade your space without your permission? Remove yourself from the group and don't look back. What have they done for you? This is not building you up. This is breaking you down. I don't do negativity in that way. I don't want to wake up every day and talk about somebody's ailments. I don't want to see that. How do we uplift each other? And my poor friend who's being bullied and trolled, we've got a wonderful group. I have my moments. We all do. But you know what? There's so much respect amongst us. There's just no need for us to bring up each other's pain and then poke in the wound and then throw salt in it and think it's all going to be all right. Then disappear off to bed like, oh, it's nothing. But do you know something? This is what I've realised. This is how we let them win. Is when we let that stuff they say affect us and keep us awake, and then we get bags under our eyes, and then we've got dark circles, and then they say, oh, black don't crack, and there's me trying to hang on to it. Well, you know what? That's why I've made this live. You haven't affected me as much as you think you have. I might have lost a few hours sleep. But that's all I'm prepared. I'm not shedding no tears. I'm not cursing the way that I could do. Because you don't have that much control or power over me and my energy and what it is that I do. You've shown me you have no self-control. None whatsoever. You're a liability. And until the people in that group and people around you see that, I don't even have pity on none of you. All I'm saying is that we have choices. And my choice is to not be around him. And if he's in that group, then I don't need to be. I can communicate with the other people outside of the group. But I'm not sharing a space, my energy, my time, my thoughts. I'm not sharing no family pictures. I don't want them people to know nothing about me. Nothing at all. They cannot be trusted. Because they revealed their hearts. They revealed what's really on their minds. That they're okay with that. They're okay with that. But I'm not okay with that. And it's okay to not be okay. So for those people that think, oh, she's miserable, she's a bore, she's a this, she's a that, dealing with some of this stuff in the background, trying to help people, let me go help myself and remove myself from that. Peace, love and light. I'm out.